Welcome everyone to the DevConsole / Explorer community meeting. This week we're gonna go over a bunch of cool new features with the Explorer, and then the second half, Josh Quintel will join us and go over a little bit more DevConsole. So with us is Sharif and Vlad. They're here gonna kind of walk you through some console, or I'm sorry, Dev Explorer, NEAR Explorer updates. And yeah, at any time, please feel free to drop a question in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. We will answer them as we go, or maybe save them to the end if they're kind of more general questions. And then, yeah, throughout the presentation, I think we're going to do some polls and kind of get some immediate feedback from you based on the features that we're going to be showing you. So with that, yeah, I'm not sure if it's Sharif or Vlad that's going to be doing the presentation.
I'll do it. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Josh. I liked how you created a lot of new names for NEAR, like Dev Explorer and some other ones. So we probably can use that resource going forward. Let me try to share my screen, and we'll start from here. Do you already see it?
Yep. Yeah, I see your slideshow.
Oh wow, it was too fast. I thought I need to select something. Okay, Zoom experience has changed for me somehow. Hello everybody. I'm happy to present today the Explore part of the update, and this is the whole agenda for today. Maybe I need to share it. So we will have roughly 20 minutes. It's a very and not like rough estimate that we'll go through the updates for Explore. Then we'll have 10 minutes for Q&A feedback. So I will invite you to share your thoughts. Feel free to deliver them to us. And then Josh Quintel will join the stage and deliver the DevConsole part of the update. We'll see how many surprises he has. I have a few for you for sure on the Explorer side. So without further ado, let's jump on to the Explorer. No, we are not ready to jump there yet. Actually, I want to say that during the previous update, we shared some of the progress we've managed to do on different pages on Explorer. And I want to say that while we haven't launched those yet, we actually progressed on some improvements while we were working on solidifying those. So today I will show you the next iteration of those, and Riff will help me to navigate through some design decisions we made. If you will have any questions, but I hope we'll just streamline through them and leave the majority of the time for Q&A and feedback session, where we will serve them both, me and Riff, side by side. So we are ready to jump into account activity list. And so just to remind you, we have this Figma file shared with all of you during the previous previous call we had, and you can use the same link and just switch to the page version 2. And we will also provide you with a link. Maybe Riff, you can share it meanwhile in chat, so people can also navigate it while I'm talking. You can find all the instructions how to collaborate here. So I also want to again invite you to leave your comments if you feel necessary, and we definitely would like to address those. So going forward to the activity list. And here the new iteration of it. And I want to mention ahead of time that we actually have 3 versions of them, and I will walk you through the ideas how we arrived to them. So this is a version A, and you can find it over here. In version A, we try to reduce and keep the minimum amount of information on the page. And I like it because it's quite clean and immediately noticeable what's going on. One of the key aspects that we wanted to address is to remove the unnecessary duplication. I'll talk through it a little bit later. And the meatiest part is actually the how the balance of this particular account has changed as a result of this operation. So this is nice. This is how we currently display the failing transaction or failing operation. We actually do not focus on transactions anymore. We name them activities, and they are more reflecting. If you're familiar with the core concepts, core like low-level details of the protocol, the receipts in NEAR protocol. So this is our like granularity level here. You can find on this page quite a few interesting parts which we talked through during the last call already, and this is the new representation of the account header. But what we've actually progressed during the last since last update was focus on the tabs here. So this first tab, activity, that we will talk right now. Cool. Feel free to maybe leave some comments in the chat, but there will be a poll where I will I'd like you to vote on which approach you like the most. The second version we had was actually we couldn't find a way how to visually represent the way where the activity originates from and where it goes. So on the left, we on variant A, we actually had this mix of sender receiver column, and now we have like more is like other alternative, just A/B testing, you know, maybe having two columns, but it still shares the same clean design as the first version. Then our mental thought went to a very different ideas of exploration actually, and that was inspired by our transaction execution plan, which we'll cover a little bit later. But if we will look at the execution plan, we will see blocks like this, where the sender is on the top, and then you have a list of operations if there is more than one, or there is only one operation, and you clearly see the receiver here. Yeah, so that's another version. We call it version C, and you can see that that's was one of the directions we explored. When we actually were considering different options and try to apply real data to these views, we saw the following results. And well, actually, instead of sharing, or actually, yeah, let's discuss it here. So it wasn't the final version of the redesign, but it was live already, and we can actually open it on the Explorer pull requests and view your own accounts this way. But what I want to share here is that we had the list of all the individual receipts with their respective changes that they made to this account. But the problem was it was actually lacking the context. And I want you to look at this page first and try to reason. So it was foundation NEAR account, and it was receiving some actions from system account, which, well, in NEAR, it's a built-in account delivering some refunds. So these are definitely not very important, and you can see the values are milli NEAR, so it's a very small amount. And then you can also see that SAM account has sent tokens to foundation.NEAR. 79K of NEAR, which you may think is fine, but foundation shouldn't receive any money. And with the context we actually added, I want to click here. We clearly see that these are refunds. We can basically also, we have a view to hide refunds. And if we will hide those, we will only see this transfer. And this transfer of 79K of NEAR goes to foundation from this account, but it was originated from the termination withdraw operation. So this was the clue that we wanted to bring to the table to the users. And I wonder if you also care about this. And this is the idea we want to test, and we want to learn from you. Whether you actually needed such a context ever in your experience with NEAR Explorer or with NEAR in general. Let's see what we have. Do I have it here? Okay, not really. This was another example, and I actually can open it so it's more visual and live. Hopefully, live demos will work for us today. It does. Cool. So this is a multi-sender app.NEAR account, and we see there are it seems like this account is currently sending quite a number of tokens to different users directly. And with the context, we can clearly see that it was as a result of a multi-send function call, not a transfer initiated by the owner of this account or whatnot. If we will hide refunds, hide gas rewards, and hide the outbound receipts, and probably we can hide transactions for this page. Yeah, this is the way how the page will look like for you. It's at least like our vision right now. So when we actually want to explore two modes. One is for developers who are actually in need to know about every single detail of the protocol out there, and they will look into refunds and gas rewards and whatnot. And another view, which is more sane and slim and short for the regular users. So in this view, when we filter and slim down the list, we can clearly see that there was a call from an F payment to multi-sender app, and it caused a number of transfers. So this is the first part of the update, and I think we not here. Yeah, we are ready to go to launch a poll. Can you, Josh, please?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll start with the first one with the activity list. We'll launch this. Hopefully everyone can see it. Just kind of like, yeah, which one do you like better? A, B, C? None of the above, or you don't know and can't decide?
Yeah, which is also fair.
Yeah, which is also fair. I'm wondering if like as you're presenting these, I actually like for me B, but then it'd be cool if you like click on the individual if you would click like for B, you'd click on the transaction and then it would show you like a C version of that where it like expands it and gives you even more like detail, like it opens up and it says, hey, here are the methods and here's actually what happened. And then as you're doing the presentation, I'm like, oh, it'd be even cooler if like then you can click on the method and it takes you to the source code and it shows if it's like a core contract and we know what it is and you can like learn more about it. But that's from, I guess, a developer point of view. And as we're like developing ABI, and you'd have, okay, this is how we can see what methods are, what the parameters are, what, like, I don't know, just being able to inspect things a little bit more deeper is kind of my personal preference.
Thanks for jumping in. That's great input, and I that's actually can bring us to the second question of the poll.
Let's go ahead. We'll end this and save the results from that poll. And then we will ask, the context. Oh, yeah, context. Do you feel
Yeah,
you
so
missed the
this is
content?
exactly what, yeah, so it's exactly what Josh just said. So regarding the, do you need more information like presented on the extended version of at the end, or and do you want to show them immediately, or you want to have expandable view and hide them by default? So the second option is hide them by default, and third option is show them all the time. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, looks
I
like we
wonder if
got.
is my screen sharing like leaking the poll as well, or
No,
it's not
no,
showing the
it's not. I don't. Leaking the poll. What do you mean? Like it's showing what the poll.
yeah, do people see my like poll results on the screen
Oh
share
no,
right
I
now?
haven't shared the results. I haven't shared the results. Do you want me to share the results of the poll?
I mean, I guess we can do it at the end.
Okay,
So we
cool.
can
All right.
like in summary.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Looks like 70% people participated in this last one. So quick post a response. Otherwise, I'll wrap this one up.
Yeah, we can keep it for now. I
Okay.
think it wouldn't hurt for people to think through it. So they just a reminder, expanded is not exactly designed this way, but just the type of information you can find on the expanded view would include the produced receipts, like outgoing cross-contract calls, basically listed out, and the origin of this operation. Okay, so moving forward, we have transaction details page, and this is our. Oh yeah, and also I want to share the link for you to play with. I guess it's Q&A. Where's chat? Chat. Oh, I guess the best way will be share this pull request so we can open any of those accounts. We haven't populated the data for all the accounts yet, so we only like selected a few cases that you can play with and compare with the original UI. So there is just beta prefix here, which you can remove. Okay, and moving forward. So this is the transaction details page, and we, as you, Josh, already requested, we actually are working on more like developer experience here, but also we want to provide some clean and a clear picture of what was going on. And I think we achieved this clean version for for those who are not technical users, but they still need to understand on a high level what has happened. So this is a transaction that was happening. It was sent from foundation to foundation, and it was a NEAR deposit. Or actually, it was confirmed method. It was probably just a design reshuffling that we put the wrong name here, but in either case, so it was one function call that caused another function call, another contract. That contract called the function and also set up a callback, and that after that callback was executed, it led to withdrawal function call event with a transfer that in its turn triggered transfer event. And yeah, so this is the view we were working on, and we also try to minimize and solve certain aspects in the top of the like in the header of the transaction itself to be more clear what was going on. So saying like where this transaction, who was signing this transaction, where it was originally sent to, and as you know, NEAR, the execution can travel then across different accounts. So yeah.
Someone's asking about gas details and how that would be shown.
We have a lot of those. So when you click on any of those, it will expand and show you the output, the input parameters, and there will be inspect tab where we have it. Yeah, we have it, where you will find all the neat details that usually developers are looking for, including the balance change of the sender and receiver accounts, so you can know how it affected those accounts. I also think we will in the future expand this view with even more details for developers. For example, state view and like how the state keys has changed, but we'll see how that goes, because it's the storage is in NEAR. When you use NEAR SDK REST, for example, it encodes data with Borsch binary format, which doesn't contain the schema, so it's a bit hard to map backwards. So we'll need to work through this, but at least the keys could be visualized. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll also have this nice expand button to expand all of them. We are still working on some of the aspects of this view, but I think we achieved quite easy to comprehend small representation, and also while not leaving behind the developer experience for those who want to learn more details on very granular level. Yeah, probably we are ready for the next poll. And yeah, so how do you like? Yeah, how do you like this new experience? And yeah, while we are waiting for the poll results, I think we can move forward without further ado to our NFT views here. And we actually have we worked on tokens and collectibles representations on Explorer, because we feel like this information is public and doesn't need to be only displayed on the marketplaces and wallets as like personal collectibles, but also there should be a view on Explorer for you to know to explore others collectibles and maybe share direct link them. So this is going to be like slimmer version that marketplaces could provide, but definitely will show as much information as possible with a link to the marketplaces. So this is a view. You have a list representation this way, and also you can click on each of them and see more details about their historical transitioning through different owners, whatnot. So this is possible due to the NFT standard. So if the smart contract developers implement events standard of the NFT standard, we'll pick it up and we'll be able to display those. This is another poll which you can vote. How do you like it or not? And moving on to FT. And so yeah, this was NFT, or we actually tried to be more generic and follow our paradigm to give names that are descriptive, easy to reason about, and I feel Wallet created a very good term, found a very good analogy there, that they're collectibles. So moving on to the tokens. So tokens, they're near native tokens, but also fungible tokens that are implemented as a standard. And this is a view that not this one. This is not the final one. This is the final one. This way we can represent as little or as many of the tokens the account owns without sacrificing the space, and also showing all the neat details about when the operation has happened, what was the price at that point, and how it affected the total balance, what was the resulting balance, and yeah, the reference to the transaction itself. So I hope this. So it seems like so we actually try to follow the regular mobile banking experience here, but let us know how do you like it. And you can participate in the and like give comments right on the Figma. True. It is yeah. That was the whole like overview of the visual updates. But I want to also highlight that we were working hard on delivering the internal refactoring, and Explorer is now much faster, and you will see less of those spinners. So you may have noticed, I just opened the page and you finally don't see those spinners, and you just immediately see the results here. So this there were a lot of improvements done on the backend. We optimized it, and we definitely are ready for like scaling Explorer and getting even more data on it, and delivering features faster going forward. You can find send your technical request to Explorer through the GitHub repo, or ask questions on Stack Overflow. And these are the most efficient ways to actually communicate with the team, except these calls, obviously. And the office hours that the REL team hosts, they can also pass the request to us. So thanks for staying with us. I feel that I took almost all the time, but I think we can take at least some time for the Q&A. Do we have any questions, Josh?
Yeah, it looks like we had one question. Mario said he would like to have the NFT CID or URL shown in the NFT details dialog.
Exactly.
Sometimes the image fails. Yeah, and
very good point. Yeah, thanks Mario for bringing it up for sure. We have a comment over there on Figma that will want to show as much metadata there as possible.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I don't see any outstanding questions, just some comments, like the hierarchy and color layout. I think plus one to what I said earlier about having the smaller or more cleaner view, and then you click on it and it expands to a more detailed view. But yeah, other than that, I don't see any other comments or questions. Please, again, feel free to drop them in the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen if you have any questions or comments. Also, yeah, we'd like to know if you'd like to participate in user experience interviews. We'll go ahead and launch that poll right now. If you're interested, please let us know if you'd like to participate. Reach out via email, or if you're not interested at this time. But yeah, we really do value our community and the feedback you provide, and really want to shape the way our products and tools look based on your feedback. So please let us know, and yeah, love to have you be a part of that conversation. Cool. Yeah, should we pass it on to Josh Q for the Explore or the DevConsole presentation portion?
Yeah, is he online? Yeah, I see him.
Yep.
I am, yes.
He's online, yep.
Cool. Let me start sharing here. All right, thanks everybody. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions going while we are like discussing DevConsole. I will be here answering them.
Awesome, thanks for all.
Cool. Hey everybody, Josh Quintel. I am the product manager of Developer Console and Explorer here at Pagoda, and have a lot of exciting stuff to show you for Developer Console today. So I'm just going to dive right into it. Before I go too far, perhaps for those who are maybe new to this, haven't tried it out, or just need a refresher, a little bit about what Developer Console actually is here at Pagoda. So when you think about the development lifecycle in our current NEAR tooling, right? You think about build, test, deploy, monitor, right? And we've got NEAR CLI, NEAR API JS. We have all this tooling, workspaces for testing. So we have the tooling that really covers this build, deploy, test lifecycle on your local machine very well. But once your DApp is launched, where do you go from there, right? Where are the operational needs taken care of? Monitoring your contract activity, building analytics dashboards, things like this. And that is exactly what Developer Console is the answer to. So Developer Console is an operations platform for dApps built on NEAR protocol. So to just go into what I want to talk about today, we actually have an upcoming release that we're really excited about. That's going to really start introducing or realizing some of these more operational type of features. As a little bit of background, currently, if you sign up for the Developer Console, you do a few loose project management type of tasks. You sign up, you get API keys for our RPC, so you can use that in an authenticated way, get some usage metrics around that. You also have a contracts page that allows you to add contracts associated with your project. To that page, see a nice condensed or focused view of the Explorer, for those contracts specifically, and some things of that nature. But really, we're expanding this a lot, especially like I said on the operations and analytics side that I'll talk about, and then also did a bit of a visual refresh. But there's a lot more to it. So going through both of these, there's some new visuals you'll notice right away because it's changed, but it's really not just a coat of paint, right? We didn't spend a bunch of time tweaking visuals that were already okay. This was a refresh that included a lot of things behind the scenes. So greater accessibility, right? There's area labels on everything. It's keyboard navigable. Contrast is WCAG compliant. So that's a huge win there. Also just internally, kind of similar to what Vlad's talking about with the Explorer, behind the scenes, this UI library should be snappier, smoother, and it's going to allow us internally to actually iterate much more quickly. This will allow the other teams within Pagoda to integrate features into DevConsole more quickly and reliably. And then kind of in that same vein, it's also extensible as well. So this really is mostly relevant internally, but maybe eventually we'll open up the ability for the community to create extensions, plugins, additional screens for DevConsole. And then the other thing I'll be showing you today is smart contract analytics. So you're going to be able to visualize a lot of great data about your smart contracts. I'm very excited to hop into that. Shout out to Datrix, who has been a partner of ours, helping us develop that feature as well. I'm really excited to show you that. So a little bit about it briefly. So it's automatically synced with your contracts view. Like I mentioned, you add contracts to a project in order to keep track of them. Well, now those will show up in this analytics dashboard. You can also, when you're in there, you can actually select contracts outside of your project as well. And then a couple next steps. Actually, I'll come back to this slide and we can talk about those so you have some context. All right. And with that in mind, I have it open in the same window. So this is a view of it just on its own, outside of DevConsole. So, eventually you'll see it integrated into the new view that we'll take a look at here after this. But just wanted to go over and kind of just show off some of the power of this and the metrics that you'll be getting. Also, curious to get people's thoughts. Maybe this is too much and you'd like some things trimmed. Maybe, this is awesome and you're happy to have all this data. Definitely want to hear about that. So just to briefly show what's going on here before we dive into the metrics themselves. You've got initially, this is going to be a pre-configured dashboard. So, the metrics you see here will be the ones that you'll get once this release is out the door. You can do some customization to it though. So things like the date range. So right here, we're just looking at a whole year from January 1st, 2021 to January of 2022. We haven't gotten there yet, but it's fine. It's not going to have cliffs on your diagrams or things like that. It's smart enough to figure that out. And the contract we're looking at here is Paras's marketplace contract. But if anyone in chat has a contract they really want us to take a look at, I like to show or prove that demos are live. So paste something in chat and I'll throw it in the contract filter here and we can take a look at that too. So just going down the list here, we've got some nice quick info panels up here at the top, that have your sort of high level stats. So things like total number of transactions, and then you get, some weekly trend information here. So over the past week, Process had a lot of activity, like 1.5 million transactions. They're actually up a little less than a percentage over the last week. You got the total value transacted here. This is in terms of NEAR. So, 3.3 million NEAR tokens moving in and out of the contract. We've got the liquid balance of the contract as well, the gas spent, unique weekly users. We'll dig into this. We've got some really interesting data we can get around unique weekly users, the total, and then of course, some average lifetimes down here.
Someone actually pasted or posted a contract for you to look at in chat.
Oh, cool. Oh, Burrow. Yeah, let's take a look. I'll pop in here. So actually, notably, I didn't mean to hit the X there. I could have actually viewed both contracts at once. And then what this would do is actually aggregate those metrics. So you know what? I can demonstrate another feature here. There is type ahead. So there you go. If I had not clicked the X there on Paras, this would be a bit of a weird combination, these two, but now these are actually combined metrics. So you saw this was a little less than a percentage point of a weekly change. It was 0.68 or something like that for just Paras. Now it's a little over 1% since we have both in there, but I'll come back and just stick to Burrow only for now. Cool, nice. A little less dense actually, which will be good for just kind of viewing in here. So beyond those metrics up top, we've got a bunch of nice time series representation of this data. So looking at daily transactions and users, you've got your total user counts, all the great chart features you expect. You can hover over these and get additional specific count data about them. In this case, this is a bar chart with an overlaid line chart here that also shows the transaction count. So you can quickly here see how your number of users relates to the number of transactions on that particular day. Going down here, looking at retention. Oh, we may want to go back to Paras actually, because there is some, it might need a longer time period. There is some retention data for longer running contracts. So I'll flip back to that later. But right here, you can see your total monthly number of new users. Of course, we've got named accounts on NEAR, which is really helpful in making this data at least a little more reliable than if everyone's just got a hex address. And then down here, more type of user stats. So your monthly, weekly, daily active users. Also some nice averaging happening here as well. And also for anyone, looking at their retention, things like that, my fellow product people, potentially, or anyone who cares, we've got, some nice, quick, just percentages here as far as your weekly versus monthlies, and your dailies versus monthlies. Then down in here, some data about volumes and balances. So you've got your total transacted NEAR, but then also the amount transacted daily here. Or sorry, the total, obviously this is cumulative and only increasing. So yes, the total is the line, with your daily transacted volume here are these bars. And then some other nice breakdowns, the weekly balance as far as the amount of NEAR. And then this one, always one I would use in examples before we actually had this live, would be top users transacted by volume. It's Burrow uses a lot of internal transactions, so it's appears to be transacting with itself quite a bit there. Also interesting too, some of these are, especially the table views, are generally navigable. So you can see here, you can go down through 2,000 entries actually for that particular one. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff for you to dig through once we get this out. So then on the gas side here, you've got your total amount of gas used, both cumulatively and then of course, momentarily by the day. Looks like this is daily. Yes. And then that is the end there. And there's an erroneous blank tile down here. But yeah, hold on. Let me real quick switch back to Paras just so I can show you the retention one. Let's be even more vague and see what other marketplaces around here. A couple different ones. And once again, just to kind of show you as proof, that all of it works. Well, eventually, there we go. Took a little while to calculate that one, but yep, you can get your retention rates as well. I believe, given the timeline, that this is either 1 month or 3 month. Look. Okay, it's doing monthly retention, but it looks like it didn't generate this graph for Burrow because it wanted data like 6 months out. It appears to me. So yeah, hopefully some very exciting stuff there. Like I said, you'll be able to, this will automatically have your contracts from the contracts page added in here. But as I demonstrated, you're able to change this filtering at your leisure. So hopefully get some huge value out of this. I love just coming in here and simply playing with this dashboard. So yeah, excited to get that in the hands of the community. So actually, before we go into the new visuals, just to keep the thread going here, I'll come back and talk about these next steps. So what you saw there, like I mentioned, that's going to be pre-configured. That'll be integrated into Developer Console. But some other next steps for that, there was a bunch of great on-chain data there, but of course, your DApp is an even larger experience. So we want to add in some integration with off-chain events as well. So you'll be able to visualize those on there in addition to the on-chain data. And then similarly, right now we've got all this data. It'd be nice to be able to customize it to a much greater degree, create multiple dashboards, things of that nature. And so a full-on build your own dashboard experience is really the next step and kind of the culmination of a lot of this effort around analytics. Cool. So then on the new visual side, I'm just hopping right into it over here. You can see that it definitely looks very new compared to what you have been viewing up to this point. So we've got a new navigation over here on the left-hand side. It's a lot more in line with Pagoda's brand. That definitely covers, the coat of paint type of aspects. But one, initially functional aspect that you'll notice right away is that it is in dark mode by default now. Warning that I'm going to shock your eyes by switching it to light mode. But there is also light mode as well, if you prefer that still. But we do keep it in dark mode by default. It's the Pagoda brand colors, really. The project and environment selectors are a little more clear now. Everything's contained up in this bar. You've got your user settings up here now as well. Previously, everything was kind of pushed into this left-hand bar and just separated by space, which was okay. But, as the application continues to expand, that wasn't really going to be a scalable approach design-wise. So now your user settings and login controls are up here. You got your environments here, our same testnet and mainnet. We've separated them a little better now with some icons as well as the colors. We'd gotten some feedback that previously when they were just a dot, they almost looked like status indicators. So yeah, updated that with some iconography to make it a little easier. Still got your project selector here. And of course, the ability to create a new project from there. So that dashboard I just showed you, you'll see that on this analytics screen. Currently, there's nothing on it in this version, or at least it's the old one. But yeah, that will now contain that new dashboard that I actually had just shown you. But yeah, like I mentioned, so in addition to this, just looking a little better for sure, and as I mentioned, being more scalable for us in the future, all these components are accessible. They're based on, if anyone's familiar with Radix, it's a great UI toolkit. Provides us a lot of various niceties. And like I mentioned, accessibility features, in addition to even checking those. So as we continue to expand it, we can still abide by all of those standards there. Actually was real quick, I was going to try to show you one novel thing about how it positions drop-down menus and things like that. But either way, yeah, it's a great system. Actually, maybe I can show you here. Oh no, it won't get small enough, actually. Never mind. Okay. I was just going to mention, I like this type of cool novel CSS stuff. If you had opened a tooltip, for example, let's say on this button, and it was let's say below the button and the screen got shorter than this, that the tooltip would automatically reposition itself above the button. But cool stuff there. So yeah, that was a demo of what's going to be coming up in that next release. We are targeting the middle end of next week for this to be out. So definitely really excited to hear feedback, especially about this analytics portion, because this is very powerful. We're really excited to get that out to people. So to talk a little bit about, I just realized I'm not actually presenting this in presentation mode. Cool. So just to talk a little bit about our roadmap, I mentioned it's most of it. There's some things that I can't include on here right now, but just to let you know a little bit about our kind of midterm thinking here. We're going to be presenting DevConsole in a couple places in the next upcoming months, notably at ETH Toronto in August. So that's kind of a milestone release for us. But either way, going from left to right. So we've got the new UI and the contract analytics that I mentioned. But in addition to that, we are working on something I talked about last time, which are alerts. And so if you've seen me present DevConsole before, you're a little familiar with these. But just as a refresher, so alerts are actually going to allow you to choose a contract, set some conditions, and then actually get alerted about the activity on that. So things like, successful and failed transactions at the most basic, more complex things like balance changes, method calls, things of that nature. So really great for like responsive things, responsive notifications in your app, triggering some functionality potentially on your own backend, things of that nature. So the first version of those we're going to have out here by the end of June. That's what we're aiming for. I call those momentary because the first release is just going to be like transaction to transaction. So like when I mentioned balance change, I mean balance change from one transaction to the next. In the future, we're going to be actually like post September. It's actually just not on here yet. We're going to be extending those observation timelines. So you can do more interesting things like balance changes over the last day or 8 hours or things of that nature, really enhancing what comes to mind first, for me at least, is really enhancing the security use case there as well. So like longer observational timelines are a big help there. Once again, kind of harkening back to that balance change example. So yeah, those will be really great. One final interesting thing to note there, actually, as far as the destinations or where the actual alert goes, because you'll see there's additional destinations on the right-hand side. We'll be launching them with webhooks as the first destination. So that's great because it's the most flexible option for sure. So if you do want to initially configure any other like follow-on destinations, you'll be able to do that very easily using a webhook. But in the future, we will be adding on more traditional, very alert style destinations, things like email, Telegram, SMS, those type of channels as well as like pre-configured options. And then while I'm still on the subject of alerts, I'll just finish out the timeline for this. We'll also be adding on additional parameters as well. So more advanced filtering, things like not just a method call by method name, but like which parameters were supplied to that method, what the data of a resulting event fired by a contract was, things like that. So really just continuing to iterate on the capabilities as far as like filtering and observations there. Actually, to hop back up, since I did the whole timeline for data, I'll go back to platform. So we mentioned the UI and contract analytics. Another aspect of this, as it continues to get more complex, is going to be organization and team management. We actually had this figured out a little bit to an extent on the data side, but we need to actually surface this in the UI, which is a whole can of worms. If anyone here has dealt with, like permissions and organization management features. And then another thing we're really excited about are contract forms there. So the dev tools team is working on an ABI standard to produce like a manifest for smart contracts that are compiled for NEAR. So that will have things in it like the methods and also their input parameters and data types. So, full function signatures in there. And that's going to enable us to actually create a really nice like integration testing and demo type of experience in DevConsole. So by having the transaction list and account views fully imported from the Explorer into DevConsole, combined with forms generated from these ABIs, we can allow you to, just through a nice easy form interface and your browser wallet, fire off transactions against your contracts and then immediately see those results, in Explorer views within DevConsole. So like I mentioned, it really makes this nice, quick iterative loop there for like integration tests, demos, things of that nature. So another really exciting thing there. So that's definitely some great stuff to look forward to. Like I said, in the next couple of months here, August and September. And there will be even more than this that I just didn't want to share quite yet. So definitely stay tuned. There is some exciting stuff coming down the pipe here. So with that, we've got about 8 minutes left, so we're doing okay on time. I'll turn it over for any general questions. I didn't really have any polls or anything for this in particular. Just wanted to show you what we've got upcoming since last time. I know I was a little sparse on the roadmap type of stuff.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, Josh. Yeah, if you have any questions, we got a few minutes to answer them. Feel free to drop them in chat or the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And yeah, we'll take a few minutes to answer any questions that anybody has either on this or the Explorer. Just comments of thanks for sharing. So appreciate it. Yeah, give it another minute or so. Anyone's got any burning questions that they're thinking of? Cool. Well, if we don't have any further questions, I think we could probably wrap it up a little early. Cool. Yeah. Thanks everyone for stopping by and participating in our polls. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on office hours every day, Monday through Friday. DevRel has office hours. We go to near.org/office-hours. You can see the time zone for that. Oh, they want to see the poll results. Okay, yeah, totally. I can totally do that for you. All right, here's results from the activity list. You can see about split between A and B primarily. Can show you the activity list content. Kind of B for the most part. And then there was transaction details. Most of you said, yeah, much cleaner. Nobody says they like it the old way. One person said it's a little confusing. If you're that person, yeah, please feel free to leave us some feedback so we can make it more clear for you. And then NFT section. Yeah, people love it. They're really stoked on that. Still a little room for improvement. Again, please feel free to leave us your feedback on how we can improve that section. But yeah, I'm really digging the new NFT section for sure. And then we have the fungible tokens section. Yeah, again, a lot of people love it. One person still a little room for improvement, which is always good. So yeah, again, please keep us posted with your feedback. Let us know how we can continue to make it better, and we'll do our best to accommodate that. Cool. Yeah, and I'll also create a Google form so that way individuals watching this on YouTube can participate in the poll as well and leave feedback. But yeah, other than that, thanks so much, Josh, for joining us and bringing yeah, the roadmap to us. And yeah, really excited to see the future of DevConsole.
Yeah, same. Thank you.
All right, everyone, take it easy. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.